Hey everyone, my name is Connor Curran, and today on the Courage Chronicles, we are talking with Ammar Memon about embracing the leap and bold determination to start your business. Hi there, my name is Connor Curran, and I'm one of the co-owners of Local Laundry. Come join me on the Courage Chronicles, where we interview different people on their area of expertise and how they became successful and how you can learn from their success. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about courage for a quick second. You know, as an entrepreneur, we do things every day, and it takes a lot of courage to do what we do. You know, because there's so much risk on our end. Everything kind of falls on our shoulders. You know, even just to start something takes a lot of courage. So I wanted to ask you, you know, what moment in your journey? Tell us about a courageous moment and the impact that had on you.
Yeah. I mean, I think you would know this really well. For me, it was making that leap. Mm-hmm. And I would actually almost characterize this as 3 different stages. So the first one was this leap, going from this safety net of, you know, working in a big corporation, getting a steady paycheck and a healthy paycheck into this unknown. So yeah, that was a big step and took a lot of courage, because it's very easy to call Kyle and say, hey, you know, I really appreciate it. I like what you're doing, but you know, I prefer to just keep into this, being under the safety blanket. So yeah, that was probably a huge moment at the start. So that would be the leap. The second piece would be removing ambiguity. So that's the one piece that really, now that I'm reflecting on it, that comes up, is that first year and a half really was removing ambiguity from the business. Like, what are we doing? How are we doing it? Who are we selling it to? And yeah, you have an idea, but you're constantly experimenting, practicing to figure out, how do we remove the ambiguity and make this into, something special.
Mm-hmm. I really like how you put that. I think that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with. And I want to get back to that, but going back to the leap, I mean, it's a really hard decision because there's so much uncertainty. You're giving up all this, you know, comfort, security. We've all been there. We've all done it. But what was it that kind of gave you the kick in the behind that you're like, no, I have to do this. This is the right move.
Yeah. You know, I'd like to take credit for that, but my courage was really did come from the community and specifically my close network. So I went and talked to various different people that I respect, and I talked to them about what this idea was. I think probably 8 to 12, I'll say, because 12 is a statistically significant amount of data points. But yeah, talk to people to say, hey, here's what I'm looking at, and what do you think? So to me, that starts to add and help build that courage, is to say, hey, what do you think? And a lot of people were really excited. And I was actually, maybe with the exception of my father, who likes the security of having a job in a big corp, everybody else was really supportive, say, hey, look, you have not a lot to lose here. You're doing good in your personal life. You should take this risk. So I built that courage off of the people that are in my network, and they really helped me into it. So they were essentially the kick to get me off that diving board.
For me, the scariest moment was telling my team at the company, like my boss, that I was leaving, because it doesn't become real until you actually like verbalize it.
Yeah.
It's almost like letting the toothpaste out of the tube. You can't get it back in there. What was that feeling like for you when you finally, did they know it was coming? Did they?
No, very few people. I think the senior management was quite surprised because I was on this great path, and I'm really appreciative of that I had that opportunity. But yeah, they were a bit surprised, but also quite supportive in the end, because they've been there, and they said, yeah, we did this too with this company, so we totally get it. But the feeling was really liberating at first. I don't know how to describe it in words, but it's just like complete freedom almost. Not to say that it was oppressive in any way before, yes, but you probably have this feeling as well. It's just like, okay, I'm the master of my own destiny.
You can do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want, which can be bad as well if you are prone to procrastination.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you start to when you believe in what you're doing, then, you know, procrastination is not really a concern anymore.
Yeah, it's so true. And it's so liberating is the right word.
Yeah.
And but it also drives you, right? Because now you need that courage. Now you get that scare. There's no one kind of, you know, breathing down your neck to get stuff done. So
yeah, that's really the third stage that we're at now. You know, once we, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's still a lot of ambiguity in the business, but we've eliminated a lot of it, and now we're at this kind of growth stage. So that's, you know, it comes with its own challenges, as you would know. We're just starting to get into that now. So yeah, pretty exciting time ahead, but it is scary, and it does end up taking a fair bit of courage.
So I really like how you said that, removing ambiguity. How can other SMBs, other entrepreneurs remove ambiguity in their own business? What was your strategies?
Yeah, you know, the way we ended up getting that ambiguity removed was a variety of different things. You know, Kyle was quite instrumental in getting our company to almost follow that lean startup approach. You know, I came from an established business, and I had a very different way of doing things, which was like slow perfection versus fast execution, failing and trying again. And he's built up a couple of successful businesses. So that approach actually really helped remove ambiguity, because you fail fast and do it cheap, you're gonna figure out where the ambiguity was, you remove it and go on to the next thing. So yeah, to summarize, I would say fail fast, do it cheap, so that you could figure out what the actual North Star will be.
Okay, so now we're at this point, you've left your career, you're working on the growth of this company, you've removed the ambiguity. What are you working on right now that you require the most courage? Like, what's the next big scary thing that you're gonna need the most courage for? Is it raising money? Is it expanding the US?
Yeah,
What
that's
scares
a
you the most?
great question. You know, fortunately, we just closed our round last September. So
Hey,
yeah,
amazing!
thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that was a huge feather in our cap.
That must have taken a lot of courage, because I know that can be pretty stressful, and the whole dog and pony show. And
Yeah, I'll have, you know, I could go on about that for quite a while. That was a very trying time, and it went through ebbs and flows, you know, ups and downs. And we almost came to a stage where we thought we wouldn't raise any more money. You know, the venture world was struggling, and so we actually just we shifted the business like, hey, we're driving to break even, and we're just gonna build the way we want to build it and not have to rely on that. And then fortunately along the way, some people and firms that really believed in us came through and said, hey, you know, you guys have done this really well, and we'd like to support that. So let's get your round closed. Shout out to Thin Air Labs and ATB, Plug and Play, and all of our angels.
Oh, man,
They've
great.
really supported us along the way.
Well, it's almost like a validation, you know, a sense that you're on the right path, that you're not just the only one think that this is a good idea. You have these highly educated, smart people and putting their money where their mouth is, and they think it's a good idea too. It must bring a sense of validation.
Yeah, big time. It's a good feeling to have that support. I think what they liked about it was, you know, they liked the idea and they believed in us at the start. But to put your money where your mouth is, as you put it, that's where they wanted to see the approach, to say, okay, well, how did they go about it? How did they go about building this thing out? And I think that kind of lean approach, get traction, move it a step further. You know, it's like a Super Bowl's coming up, so it's like a football match. You just got to move 10 yards at a time. You're not trying to Hail Mary unless it's the end of the game. So just got to move it 10 yards at a time. I think they recognized that we were capable of doing that and increase our odds of success.
I love how you said that, because sometimes I often say it takes courage just to stay in the game, and sometimes you just got to stay in the game long enough to get lucky. You know, we're still in the game, and you got to do everything you can to stay in the game. And you get a successful round. Now you're in the game longer, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I want to get back to what's next. What scares you the most about what's next?
I think you mentioned it earlier. You know, being in the U.S., as exciting of a challenge it is, because it's a 10x market, it's still a scary thing, right? You're going into a big space. You know, there is fear of competition, fear of, you know, not getting mass acceptance from clients, etc. So yeah, there is that aspect of it. And then also, if we boil down to the details, for me, it's actually the people we bring into the company. So we're very slow to hire because we're really wanting to get the right people on the team. So yeah, once you start scaling, you get into a bit of a hiring spree, and then you're like, well, who are we getting? Is the quality as good as the first 20? That sort of thing. So that's another element that I think is a big component of what the challenges we're going to face, because we can't do this alone, right? We're not, Kyle and I don't pretend to be the smartest guys in the room. We don't pretend that we know that we need great people around us to bring this company to the next level.
So where do you draw courage from when you need a little bit of draft courage? Where do you go to? Where do you seek it?
I wonder if you have this in your business, but as a founder, you need a cheerleader. Everybody needs a cheerleader at the end of the day. But with founders, it can be a pretty lonely space. And so for me, that's my co-founder. Like, if I'm having a terrible day and somebody, upset me or whatever, he's kind of my cheerleader. He'll notice that, oh, this triggered Ammar, I need to calm him down, and I'll do the same for him. If he's having a good day, we gotta support that, and then if he's having a bad day, I gotta turn it around for him a bit. So that's a big help. And then the other element is just going external, because you can look at yourself and start becoming, and your company, and start becoming critical of it. And then once in a while, you need that external validation. I don't think any human is immune to needing that external validation from investors, customers who have you to say, hey, this is great. So once in a while, jumping on a customer call and they talk about how you've helped them and how awesome or easy it is to use, that's what really gets me that courage to keep going.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Ammar. Really appreciate it. If you want to just let the audience at home know where they can find all about Quickly.
Yeah, you can find us on our website, www.helloquickly.com.
Thanks so much for coming on the show, Ammar. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching the Courage Chronicles. If you want to find out more information, click that big old link down below, or check out YYC Calgary Business. Or you can even check out our clothing company, localhonor.ca. Thanks so much. Hope you have a great day. Bye for now.